endless skies. Oh, I'm living that nomad life, city to city, feeling alive. From mountain tops to ocean drives, unchained, I thrive, I thrive.
All right. Well, thank you so much for joining us here on Nomads 50 Plus. My name is Chris Kalaboukis, and it's my mission to interview 1,000 digital nomads. That's right, folks, 1,000 digital nomads about how awesome it is to be in that life. And today we have a very special guest. She's not a digital nomad yet, but you're on the way. You're on the way. The incredible Nat Sang. Why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself and your journey and
Thank
where you are today
you.
and where you're planning to go?
Thanks, Chris. So, I just started Substack about 4 months ago, and Chris and I met relatively shortly after that. And I'm really not a digital nomad yet, but I chose not to return to the corporate workforce after my second layoff. So I'm working towards becoming a digital nomad, and this I write about midlife reset, really just my story and what I'm going through. It's been evolving, so it's not a story that's completely written, and I guess you guys will find out the ending the same time I do.
Well, that's like all of us, right? None of our stories are completely written yet. We have a long way to go.
Yeah, so everyone on Substack gets to experience my trials and tribulations, and whatever my successes are, I share them with you, and whatever my not so successful attempts are, you'll read them in real time.
You're building in public, like some software developers say. You're building in public.
I sure am. That's a good way to
That's
look at it.
that's excellent. So, have you always were you always interested in traveling? I mean, were you traveling when you were a kid, and were you always interested in going to different places?
So I so it's ironic because I hate flying, but I do.
Are you one of those people who can only fly for because I have a friend of ours who she has a limit of 4 hours, so
No,
that doesn't get her far.
no, because I love Europe, and
Hmm.
true story. We went to Hawaii. I think it was 2010, and we did the typical. We flew into San Francisco. We stayed a night, so that broke it up a little bit. And I don't know why. I probably shouldn't say this on a live, but it didn't dawn on me that I was just flying over the ocean when we flew from
So,
from
so you're probably thinking, where is Hawaii actually?
I'm
Right?
like looking, yeah, I was like looking on the map, and I'm like, holy Jesus. I'm like, this place is just surrounded by water. And I was like, I can't believe I'm doing this. Um, but yeah, so coming
You
home,
didn't
because
have a panic attack or anything on the plane. Like you were
I
okay.
had lots of drinks and a few Xanax took care of that.
Did they give you free Mai Tais? Were you on Airlines? Because they give you free Mai Tais.
I was on Hawaiian Airlines.
Yeah.
I might have drank like some gin and tonics or something. Like I needed something strong at that point. So
Yeah.
a sugary drink just wasn't going to do it.
Right.
What I did do, which is like probably the longest flight I've ever been on, was so I live in New York. For those of you who don't know me, I did Hawaii to JFK, and
What,
that was
direct?
called, yeah, direct.
Holy cow. That's like what, 14 hours or something
Yeah,
insane like
it
that?
was. It was. And but coming home, like I was okay because I don't know, I just kind of, it was a late night. Couple of drinks knocked me out. I fell asleep and I woke up and I was in New York. So yeah.
Hmm. Nice.
But
Nice.
I
But
do love
so you do
traveling.
enjoy traveling.
I do, just not the flying part of it.
So let's say you got to the point where you're a digital nomad and you want to travel. Where would you go? Like, what are your dream places to go?
So, I mean, my exposure is pretty limited to Europe and the Caribbean. I've not been past there, but I'm not super adventurous. I do love cities, that much I know. And I could see myself in London. I could see myself in Barcelona. I have a lot of relatives in London, so we go every year. Last year, unfortunately, I had a trip planned for my birthday, and literally, like, the week before, I found out I was being laid off. So
Oh no,
finances,
that's not what you want to hear.
no, so finances and logic kicked in and I canceled it. But I hope to make it there either this year or definitely next year because my daughter is looking to do study abroad for about I guess 6 months, which is one semester. So I'm going to make it over there for sure.
Nice, nice.
But
Well,
I love London.
I have a getting let go right before I travel story myself. So
Oh
I was
boy.
working for this terrible company, which shall not be named, and I had to. So my mom had passed away, and I had to go to Greece to do some so like wrapping up of things of her
Yeah.
properties and stuff like that. And I said, this is going to take me a while. It's Greece. Things move slow. So I need at least a month. And they
Yeah.
said, it's okay. So I tell you what, take your laptop, work remotely, we'll be fine, right? So you can do everything you want remotely. So I said, this is great. So I got everything ready. I got my laptop, all of that stuff's ready. And then the night before we're about to fly, my manager calls me up and says, "Hey, we're letting you go. No need to worry about it. You'll just bring your laptop in and drop it off." And I'm like, I'm already ready to go for like a whole month.
Wow.
And I was planning on working the whole time that I was there. And I thought to myself, you know what? This is great. Now I don't have to worry about anything.
There you go. I think that's kind of like what happened to me too. And I
Yeah.
just was, I thought I would be really freaked out, but I actually was like, okay, it is
Yeah.
what it is. So,
Well, it ends up like I was going through so much torture at the time, thinking about it was a crappy company. I hated working for them. They
yeah,
were awful. They were awful people. I remember at one point, they actually, like a month into the role, they brought me into the office and they said, guy sat, CFO sat me down and said, you know what? We don't really need anybody like you in this job. And I'm like,
yeah.
thanks.
Sounds like something my ex-boss would have said. So, yeah, I guess there's a
So
set
there
of
are
people out
companies.
there.
Yeah, there are companies like that. And then the whole time I was there was just a struggle. It was complete struggle, complete bait and switch. They told me, "Oh, you're coming in for this," and they gave me something else to do, and it was just
Right.
awful, an awful.
Same. The same
What's that?
exact thing. Yes.
Yeah, yeah.
So,
It was
yeah.
terrible, terrible. And then the the relief I felt like right
Same.
after when I was prepping to go, I had everything ready, and I thought, how am I going to work this? This is gonna be fine. It's a different time zone. Blah blah blah. I had it all worked out in my head. And then the moment he called me up afterwards, and he said, "Well, you're out as of now."
Yeah.
And I'm like,
No.
you know what? This is actually really good. Now I don't have to worry about any of this stuff.
Yeah.
It was just a load off my mind. And I mean, you felt something similar to that?
I absolutely did. I really, I was miserable. I mean, I write about it. If anyone follows me or subscribes to me on
Oh yeah,
Substack, it's
everybody
all
who's
there.
watching now, definitely subscribe to Nat right now. And by the way, her name is so easy compared to mine. She's like two syllables. Boom,
I
boom, two
am.
syllables. I'm like 1,700 syllables. So do not subscribe to me. Subscribe to Nat.
Oh, thanks,
I got too
Chris.
many.
Yes.
I got too many syllables. Don't bother.
Well, Chris is easy. So, yeah, no, that happened to me, and I really was. It's same thing. I accepted this job, and you're probably a little bit different from you. The first year was great because the person that I went to work for, she was there and I really admired and respected her, and it was just like really one of those too good to be true kind of things.
Hmm.
And then she left, and then the last 3.5 years were pretty much torture. Um,
Wow, you
you
stuck
know,
it out that long?
I did. I stuck it out because to be truthful, I don't think I had the courage to leave.
Mm,
It was remote, it was remote. My daughter was in high school at the time. And the good part is it allowed me to spend time with her. So like I don't want to crap on that, but it's really just the person I was reporting to. He just was god awful. And until I got out of it, I didn't realize how bad it was, but, I mean, my body was giving me signals. I mean, I ended up in the ER.
jeez.
I had, like, heart issues that I didn't have before, and
Oh my God,
it
that's
was like
terrible.
yeah, it was all, like, due to stress, And just the comfort, though. I mean, it's my own fault, right? Because the comfort of just being remote, I was like, where am I going to go? Like, where else am I going to go get this? Because I had a relatively high position and it was easy for me to probably get something comparable in New York City, but I also live like 2 hours away from the city. So it would have been like a 4 hour commute. So, you chalk everything up to like a sacrifice and you just do what you got to do. And, that's kind of where I was at. But I was miserable. I was miserable. Um, I write about how much I shopped. So I think just the fact that I was
Retail therapy.
retail therapy at its best, man. Let me just tell you. And I have to say that, like, since I found out that that was happening between like the retail therapy and the vacations that I was taking, I swear to God, I probably saved like half of my paycheck by just being unemployed because
Mm,
I'm so happy at home. I'm doing what I want to do. I'm kind of pursuing my dream, which I've never had the opportunity to do. And yeah, so I think that that's just making, there's like a different type of joy and it's a simpler life, but you realize that um I think you chase a lot when you're not happy, right? You're always
yeah.
chasing happiness and there's an expense and there's a cost to that. And, so it's like I'm working, but the money's going out. So it's, counterproductive, I guess. So yeah, when I found out that I was laid off and all of a sudden everything, that I was doing basically just became obsolete because it's
Mm,
like, all right, no more shopping, no more trips, cancel out London. But I felt such a sense of relief and I slept better than I've slept in years. So, I think it's all good. And this happened during COVID. I was laid off in 2020, and that like sent me into a spiral. Like, I mean, I was sending out resumes like within the next day or two,
oh, yeah.
and this time I decided to just take a reset. Just take a year off, and let's see where that year, where I'm at a year from now. But I started, like I said, I started writing on Substack. I'm, in the process of developing a tool that I really, believe in, and I'm living through it. So it's a reset tool. I'm not sure how that will be released, whether it's coaching, whether it's digital, but I'm living it. So I'm documenting it, I'm writing it, I'm designing it, and hope I wish that there was something like this for me 2 years ago when I kind of felt like I knew I needed to change something in my life, but I had no guidance. I had, no caliber. And so I think this might be helpful for people who are going through the same, but, have just not finalized it. But
Yeah, there's so many people who are going through the same thing. I want to go back to what you were saying with the comfort. It's like it sounds like you were in this place and you were continually justifying staying there, right? So you were stuck in this place and you knew it was bad for you, but you continually came up with excuses to
yeah,
justify it and justify it and justify it. And I mean, a lot of us are in that same sort of situation. It's like we're doing this thing, we're very unhappy doing this thing, but we
yeah,
continue to justify. It's like, oh, the paycheck's coming in, or this
yeah,
is good, or this perk is this, or this perk is that. It's like even though it's even though it's unhealthy, it could be a very
yeah,
unhealthy thing to be, you're still
absolutely.
saying, how can I keep doing this and at the same time try to be healthy?
Well,
You can't
yeah.
sometimes.
I mean,
Yeah.
anything short of winning the lotto, it's, they're always bills to pay. And um, I know how when I started, I was like, well, so my daughter's name is Emily. I'm like, Em's in high school. This gives me the opportunity to be home with her. So that was justification number one. And then
Right.
when she graduated and she went off to college and it became, well, I have to pay tuition. And, so there's always a reason, but I sincerely believe that this was some level of divine intervention, and I'm always going to stick by that because just the way it happened, it just really, you know, kind of came out of nowhere, and there's no logic because even now, every single day I get calls from my ex coworkers, and everyone tells me how
See, they love
great
you. They
they
love you and they want you
do.
back.
They do. They actually have said that they wish that I was back, but um, there's just a lot of craziness happening in that company right now, and just letting go of me and dissolving my position really just did not make sense. And so I just happened to look at it from the perspective that I have dreams that I have never pursued and I've never had the chance to do it. I've been working since I was 16. I'm
Wow.
52. So
No,
yeah.
I don't believe that. I don't believe that for a second. And that's not a beauty filter, right?
No, no, no. Well, I have that little Substack enhancer thingy on just to be
Oh,
very.
I didn't
Yes.
realize. I didn't realize that those existed.
No, I didn't know that either, but I mean, I think I've done enough podcasts and lives without anything that everyone kind of knows, yeah. But so I've been working like my whole life and I've never had a chance to pursue dreams or, just see what I'm capable of like on my
Yeah,
own. And so that here I am.
it's
So,
interesting. So this happens to a lot of people. Like I talk to people who've been through divorces, who've been through deaths in the family, who've been through layoffs, have been through all these, and it's almost 100% of the time something has got to happen. Some external
yeah.
event has to come in, and it's like an act of God or something happens
Yeah.
to the company or whatever, and that is the thing that triggers people to going into this new life. And it's unfortunate because this it means there's so many people out there who are kind of stuck and
Yeah.
they're waiting for a trigger to try and
And
push
that
them into this new life.
Yeah, and that's like in my pillar that I'm developing, that's what I call the recognition moment, right? Because you something's got to happen where you need to make that decision and you have to recognize that okay, this is no more. Like I can't
Yeah,
do this anymore. And
yeah.
I write about that. There's a piece, one of my articles, I believe it's called The Day He Broke Me. And that really was the eye-opening point in my career where I just knew I had to do something and I had to leave. I just, again, honest, being transparent, I just did not have the courage to do it. So,
Yeah. Well, you're not the
God,
only one. Everyone,
God took care of it.
there's so many people out there who are in that position. And what I like to try and say is like sometimes you just have to whack. Like sometimes you need a whack to
Yep.
knock yourself out, to get yourself out of that situation. And a lot of times this whack doesn't come, and you're just
Yeah.
stuck there. So sometimes if you're fed up enough, you basically have to whack yourself. Like what can I do? What
Yeah.
kind of crisis can I create on my own that will
Yeah.
push me out of my comfort zone so I can make that decision?
Yep. And here we are, and I I feel fortunate that that happened. I mean, I really do. And I have a lot of people just being in this mindset got me through that. And also my situation was a little bit more unique because I was told about my layoff on October 21st, but I worked for the company through the end of the year. So I
Wow, that was a
carried,
long that was a long period of time you were in there.
yeah. So I mean, and again, I've shared this, I've shared the story with you guys of, with what happened that basically my replacement was hired. I trained him and he ended up quitting before I even left because he just couldn't take it. So
Wow.
then I had to train
See
another
how bad the
person.
situation was? You handled that situation, but this new person couldn't do it.
No, and this new person was actually friends with my boss. So I don't
No
know if
way.
they're friends anymore, but yeah. It's just been like a crazy roller coaster ride, and I just felt like this is all happening for a reason. Everyone was just baffled because they're like, "Why are you so like?" I was like very zen about it. I was very chill, and even the new guy that I was training, he initially didn't know the situation, and then when, he found out, like, he felt so bad, and I was like, "Don't feel bad." I'm like, I want you to succeed, like, I really do, because I felt he was such a sweet man,
Hmm.
and I knew that he had no inkling that this is what the menace, brought him in for. And so it wasn't his fault.
Is that your nickname?
Yeah,
The menace?
I have other nicknames, but this is the G-rated version. Um, and I won't blow up your live by dropping F-bombs. But yeah, so he brought him in, and this poor man had no idea.
Mm,
And, it wasn't his fault. So I was always so I think the word he used was, I was very graceful. And I had nothing against him. To be honest, like the relief that I felt was
mm.
just, I mean, if I'm going to be selfish, the relief was, it was the kick that I needed. And I think I was happy that I got it.
Nice. Well, I think
Yeah.
most people do. It's like it's funny how when that comes down, like a lot of people, the happiest time they have at their job is the 2 weeks after they've given notice,
Yes.
right? It's like I suffered through this all this time, but I just gave my notice, and now I'm happy because I'm out of here. None of that stuff is going to worry me anymore.
Yeah, that's how I felt. And again, like, I endured like another, it was 2 full months, a little bit over 2 months.
Oh, you.
Um,
I can't imagine how
well,
much was. Did that stress you out, or you were super chill like right after that?
I was super chill training that guy.
Mm,
And then he quit right after Thanksgiving. So the month of December was extremely stressful.
yeah.
And I made it a point to not take any PTO
Mm.
because they have to pay me out for it. And at
Oh yeah,
that
you want to
point
save it.
I saved it. So I took no days off. The good thing about December obviously is you get Christmas. And the day after Christmas, I forgot if Christmas, I think it was a Thursday.
Yeah,
Whatever it was, the day after, I mean, nobody's working and we're
yeah.
remote. So,
Were you at any point during this 2 month period were you thinking to yourself, "Yeah, I could come back."
um, no,
Good.
let me take a step back with that. I would go back if he wasn't there.
Mm,
And to be, to tell you a funny story, the person that, I was initially reporting to, they also left,
mm.
because of said person.
Right.
And I
You have these
think,
toxic individuals in these organizations, and you wonder why they never leave. They're
yeah,
always
well,
there.
yeah, they're always there because they can get away with it.
Hmm.
And the person that I really had, really loved working for, she also has made it a point that I don't think she will return to that company unless, that person's no longer there. So,
Right.
yeah. So would I ever go back? I mean, I can't say never, but I'm hoping that I'm able to be successful on my own, that I can control, because ultimately it's like I do want control of my time. What I have found, which is really interesting, is if you work for yourself and you're enjoying like what you're doing, it's really not that bad.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I'm sometimes doing stuff until, midnight, and I'm totally happy with that. And I don't feel stressed. And so if I can translate that into the rest of my life, like I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
So,
You found your passion because you don't have to
yeah,
worry about it anymore. And so you've never been an entrepreneur before. So you've never worked on your own.
no, but
Was
you
that,
know,
did it feel like a shock doing that? Because the big difference I find from going from a corporate job to being an entrepreneur is that with a corporate job you have your little box,
yeah,
right? There's a little box that you sit in, and there's other people doing other things, and you just do your box.
yep,
But as an entrepreneur, now it's like, okay, I got to wear every hat,
yeah,
right? I got to wear the marketing hat, I got to wear the sales hat, I got to wear the production hat, I got to wear the QA hat, like all of these, I got to wear every hat.
yeah.
And for some people, that's like, ah,
No,
I can't do that. But
yeah.
you find that you're having fun doing it.
I mean, I'm having fun, to be honest. Like, I'm creating, I don't know where I'm going to end up, right? So
Mm,
I'm doing what I think I should be doing. But it's not at that point yet where it's, there's no income, there's no business. model as yet. I have an idea of what it is that I want to do, but I'm not quite there. So right now in the building phase, I think, I would say I'm enjoying that. But I have to say that there are days where I am just a little bit like down, where I'm like,
Hmm.
what am I doing? Like, was I crazy? And every time I think that way, I'll get like a sign that just makes me, um, you know, confident that I'm doing the right thing.
Yeah.
So I think that I'm okay. Like, I'm okay doing that. But from an entrepreneurial perspective, I think the hardest thing that you go through is, like you said, when you're in corporate, you have a box, and you actually, in a normal company with normal leadership, you have a path to success,
Mm.
right? Because you can work your way up to a promotion to the next level. I mean, I've done that my entire life. And that's really, it's not a difficult formula. You just have to put in the work. Um, with entrepreneurship and sort of being on your own, it's scary as hell because you don't know how to gauge success. Like,
Mm.
really, right before we went live, you and I were talking, and I'm still so hard on myself. And you're like, hey, you're congratulations on 500 subscribers.
I know that's fantastic.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
Thanks. And I think I kind of like talked it down a bit. And you were like, no, like, you need to be more confident in like what you're doing. And I guess I have no gauge of what success is even in this, because I'm grateful for 500, but then I'm like, does that make me successful? Because, you know, you look at
It's
it
one
and then,
step on the path to
yeah,
success. You're moving up the ladder.
I'm
It's
moving up.
yeah, and that's the way it has to be. Unfortunately, that's the, it's very this is you're wild, like an entrepreneur. Being an entrepreneur means
Uh-oh. Did you freeze or was it me?
to what's that?
One of us froze, and I don't know if it
Oh,
was me. Okay.
no, you're good. It's like
Okay.
you're wildly vacillating between this is amazing, I love this, to oh my god, what the heck have I done? I don't know what I'm
Yes.
doing. This is the worst possible thing. And sometimes in the same day, it's like,
Yeah.
and
Yes, it's like
it's like,
whiplash.
yeah, you don't have to worry about those emotional states when you have a corporate gig. And then the other thing I'm going to argue with you on when it comes to career paths, I think those are gone too. We're in a situation now where it's probably more stable to be an entrepreneur than it is to be in a corporate job, because with corporate mergers and acquisitions and everything changing all the time, and whole divisions being disappeared,
Yeah.
you have less control over what you're going to do with your life within a corporate job. And those career ladders that used to be there, I mean, when we were younger, it's kind of like, okay, you started as an intern, then you get this job, then you get this job, and
Mhm.
eventually you're in the corner office, right? Those
Yeah.
kind of pathways, they're gone now for a
Yeah.
lot of people. And so those things they're not guaranteed. In fact, I think it's more guaranteed that you're going to be successful as an entrepreneur because you way more control over your
Yeah.
life and how
And
much effort you're going to put into it.
I think that that's sort of the realization that I made. And for me, again, like kind of working through my 7 pillars of a reset, I realized that my key, I guess, reason for wanting to do this, it's just like I was laid off twice. I
Mm,
don't want it to happen a third time, because to me that's giving somebody too much control of my life, right? It's
right.
like, you don't like me, so now all of a sudden my whole world crumbles because of you. I mean,
Yeah.
it doesn't really, it's not how I want to live the second half of my life,
Yeah.
I've
Well, you
I've
become a
done.
better once you get to a certain level of experience. I don't like to use the word age because
Yeah,
age isn't necessarily it. It's like once you get to a certain level of experience, you're actually a better entrepreneur than you are an employee, because they want employees to fit in the box and do the thing in their box. But by the
yeah,
time you get to a certain level of experience, it's like, well, I want to do more than just my box.
yeah,
And they're like, no, 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 no. We hired you to sit in that box,
yeah.
and you have to stay in that box and do the thing in your box. right?
Yep.
If you start doing things outside your box, it's like, oh, no, 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 we don't like that.
Yeah.
But when you get to a certain level of experience, you want to do things outside of that box.
You
You don't want
do.
to stay in that box. So
Yeah.
the only way to do that is to be an entrepreneur, do your own
Yeah.
thing.
And this, I mean, I love like the personal growth aspect of it because,
Mm,
like you said, even on those days, like you wake up and you could feel great, and then by the end of the day, you're like, "Oh, what did I do?" Or vice versa. You're kind of learning how to manage those feelings
yep.
because and I just think it's making me stronger. And you're finding some level, for me, like I rely a lot on my faith. And when those situations occur, I look, to a higher power. I look to God to just give me the answers. And I look at patterns in my life, and I've known that there were times where I was in situations that are similar, and it always led me to a better outcome. And
Mm,
so I'm confident, and I'm really convinced that this is all going to work out. So call me delusional or call me faithful or combination of both, but yeah, I think it's all going to be good.
yeah. No, I mean, and what did you when you first got left? Did you see the array of choices that you had in front of you, and did that freak you out, or did that calm you down?
So you and I actually, you told me to take, do you remember this story? You told me to take a week off,
Yeah,
and you're like,
and you're
no,
taking a year. I love
no,
it.
you were like, no, between what I was doing, you're like, because I left work on December 31st, and you were like,
Yeah, and your tendency is to just like start spitting out resumes and applying to every single job and like do
right.
1,000 a day or whatever. Yeah,
And I wasn't going to do the resume thing, but I was definitely starting my whole like midlife reset and my everything. And you were like, Nat, just between, January 1st and like January 7th, just take a week off and do nothing and just kind of let your head absorb everything that's going on. And, and I think I spoke to you that Tuesday, and I was already doing stuff. And you're like, what are you
yeah.
doing? And I'm like, because I felt like I didn't know what to do with myself. Like, I mean, I think I had
Well,
like,
you're going at 100 miles an hour, and then all of a sudden you're like stopped, and you're
yeah.
like, I'm not used to not going 100 miles an hour. So what am I going to do? I have to keep going 100 miles an hour, right?
Or, the other thing I feel, it's like you feel like you're wasting time.
Mm,
And that's the other downside, I think. Or I wouldn't say downside, but when you're an entrepreneur, the difficult part of that is also when do you shut off? Because
you never
when
shut
you're
off.
You don't, right? And you're like, working for yourself, and it's like even last week. So we're huge Survivor fans, like my husband and I,
Hmm.
and we were like
Is that
really,
still going?
really.
It's on like
Yes,
30, season 30 or something
no,
now,
it's
isn't it? Is that
50.
it's
It's
nuts?
huge. It's huge, huge, huge. It's 50, and it's tonight actually at
50? It
8.
hasn't been going for 50 years, has it? No.
No, it's 50 seasons because they have like 2 seasons a year.
Yep.
Two shows per year. So it's been on since 2000. And anyways, last week it was like a 3-hour premiere, and I had this post that that just went viral, and I've made a commitment to respond to every single comment. So
Oh, fantastic.
I'm I'm working. I'm watching Survivor, and the comments keep coming in, and it's like I find myself responding because I'm like, to me, Substack is still like part of it is how, my platform, so I have to build it. And so my husband was like, "What are you doing?" He's like, "You're always on your phone." And I'm like, "No, I'm like responding to comments." And so it's
Yep.
like there's no off, because at
Yep.
least if I was in corporate, I would have been like, "All right, close the laptop.
Yeah.
Survivor, I'll open it
It's
in the
5 o'clock.
morning."
Clunk. It's the
Well,
weekend. Clunk.
actually, I mean, I used to work really late, but
Yeah.
for me, but I with certain things, I would just be like, all right, shut it down and call it a night. So I
Right.
just feel like I'm trying to understand, where do I navigate, like, where does, work end, and like my time begin. But
Hmm.
I mean, it's a balance for sure.
Well, it's kind of like it used to be, this is how I like to say it, is like before we had blocks. We had home block, commute block, work block, and then
Yeah.
commute block, and then home block, right? You had a
Yeah.
block of time So big blocks of time. And when you were at work, you worked. When
Yeah.
you're at home, you didn't work,
Yeah.
right? And then COVID just blew it all up. Just blew it all up. And now we have, instead of it being big blocks, we have little blocks, like Lego blocks. So I think of it as like a Lego block. It's like you have a little Lego block of work, and you have a Lego block of personal stuff. And instead of it being one massive monolithic block, it's like a little block of this, a little block of this, a little block of this. And every day it's a different set of blocks that you're putting in place based on what's going on. And that way, that's how you, it's like there's no such thing as work life balance. It's all mushed up
Yeah.
together, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, you could be sitting there watching Survivor and responding to queries, but at the
Yeah.
same time, if you're having fun responding to the queries, then is it really work?
Yeah,
Right?
no, I mean, yes, exactly. I mean, it wasn't like I was super stressed out about it, but I just wanted to make sure that, I didn't fall behind. And
Yeah,
when I feel like this is my own thing and I need to take care of it and tend to it so that, again, it just grows. And so
it
what
is.
was
But you
that?
know what?
What was
That's
that
the beautiful
post?
thing of what's that?
Do you remember the post I said, like watering? It was somebody else's note that I restacked, and it said something about watering each other to grow or something on
Yeah,
Substack.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. But the thing is about Substack, that's the beautiful thing I like about this platform, is that you don't have to be on all the time. It does
No.
give you time to breathe,
Yeah.
and things that, in every other platform that I've been on, it's the same thing. You have to be on there all the time, posting, 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 posting. Otherwise, you sort of fade into invisibility. Whereas here, you post, and then some of your stuff from days and months, weeks ago, might show up again, right?
Yeah.
And have a new life.
Yeah.
And you don't have to be. That's the thing. It gives you the space to breathe, so
Yeah.
that if something does go viral and you have a lot of responses, you don't necessarily need to get to them all right away, and people will understand. So I think it feels more human in that regard
Yeah.
than some of the other ones where they got you on the treadmill and you got
Yeah.
to keep pushing stuff out.
Well, I mean, that's my whole like fight for authenticity, right? Because I do love the platform and I just didn't like where I thought it was going, or I'm not liking where I'm seeing that it's going. And so
Mm,
just hopefully it remains, the way it is, and it doesn't become the next Instagram or Twitter or TikTok. I mean, nothing against those. If you want to be on that, that's fine, but there's an expectation of what you're going to get there. But
yeah,
with Substack, I mean, I found so much peace, and I think it really did help me, that platform. I met a couple of really good guys. I met you, I met John, Sam's been sort of MIA for a while with work, but I've met people that I've connected with. You guys have given me great advice, kind of, see me through
you
the
don't have to
bad.
listen to any of our advice.
But I do. I mean, like, look, I mean, because everyone's got like a great perspective, and it's all good. And I'm just grateful, and I feel like the connections that you make here on Substack, like they're real, like they're genuine. And so I don't know. Today I posted another article, and it was really geared towards not really, pointing anyone out, but it's more of a message that should say to, if you're reading it, please just post your own content in like your own words, because
Yeah,
it was like a trauma post, and I definitely will not like, say anything bad about anyone posting about that, because I understand that you need to get it out and it's therapeutic and everything. But what to me was sad was just that this person's post was like verbatim with another post that I read, like,
seriously.
seriously, like
Wow.
phrases and things, and I'm like, no, like I mean, it's okay to have AI like, check your stuff, but AI does this weird thing which I don't like, you'll write something, and you'll put it in there and just say like organize, like, I like to put mine in there, and I like to say like organize this for Substack format,
Hmm.
not and I always say, do not change any of my content, only
Right.
spelling, right?
Right.
And so it kind of does that. But I noticed in the beginning, like before I realized like I could do that, it really was frustrating because what it would end up doing is it would like redo like my posts, and
Hmm.
I think I cursed at it. I was like, what, what the, are you doing? I'm like, this is no longer my post. And
Yeah.
so then I had to go through it and like Grammarly or like Word or something and just spell check it and autocorrect it myself. And I was like really annoyed about that. But yeah, so I just really, love authenticity. I love connections. And I think that, the reason that we kind of connect with each other, it's because we go through some gritty stuff. I mean, it's not all pretty, and I think it should be, I don't want to see a polished version of somebody's work. I mean, obviously I don't want to see a super sloppy, like just crazy post. I
What's wrong
probably
with
wouldn't
super
do it.
sloppy? It's real. See?
It's real, but I
Yeah.
mean, if someone's gonna, I mean, I've seen some stuff and I'm like, is this for real? Like, so I don't know what was the, I don't know what's the intent of that, but I'm saying like, everybody wants to post something pretty, but it's just really dumbfounding. Like, I can't believe that AI has gotten to the point that it's just regurgitating the same words, just the same stuff. And I guess like if I were to go post an unemployment post and maybe run it through AI, it probably would, pick up some common phrases. And I don't
Hmm.
know. I just feel like it's not the same. Hey,
Well,
by the way, Chris, sorry, when I was doing my live, I didn't know this, but are you seeing any comments?
no, I'm not seeing comments.
Okay. All right.
I'm just seeing people joining.
Okay. Okay.
I don't know if I'm doing anything wrong, so I don't know.
No,
But
I don't know. With somebody I was seeing like comments like on the side, but when I was doing my live, and then someone said, "Oh, she's not answering the comments." And I was like, "Oh, Jesus, I didn't know I was
well,
supposed
if
to do
somebody
that."
is commenting, I don't see anything coming up. So
All right, so then we're good.
so
Hmm.
actually it's interesting you should mention that because we've been talking about you've been talking about authenticity a lot, right? And you've gotten a lot of good feedback on your authenticity posts.
I have.
And that's kind of like off tangent to your main
Yeah.
thing. So, I mean, is that a signal telling you, hey, maybe you should do more on authenticity than on your other thing? It's kind of like is it time to do a little bit of a pivot or maybe start another track going down that side of things? Or I mean, how are you feeling?
So it's funny that you mentioned that because John and I did a podcast on Monday, and he's been speaking to me, and he's like, you really found your voice, and like
Hmm.
this is really your calling. But I'm you know, I wrote that because I was really angry, and it came
Yeah.
from such a place of frustration. And I don't know if I started a second page, or is that what you call it? The second
Yeah,
page?
you could create another Substack or sections or
Yeah.
whatever, but you can create like another newsletter specifically for
Yeah.
that different topic. And I mean, I'm not going to recommend that you do that. It's whatever you feel is right for
Yeah.
you. And the thing is that it's kind of like every other passion project. It's kind of like you're going to look at it and go, if I start doing this, am I going to continue doing this? Is it driving me enough
Yeah.
to do? Because this is what's happening is classic for an entrepreneur. You have something in your mind,
Right.
right? You have something in your mind and you throw it out there
Yeah.
and you see what you
Yeah.
get in response. And sometimes it's good response, sometimes it's bad response, sometimes it's no response,
Yeah.
right? But then what ends up happening is that you start throwing a bunch of things out there, and as some things will be responded to in a certain way, and other things will be responded to in a different way, and you start to feel that maybe you should think about pivoting or doing something slightly different because it's not exactly your original thing. And some founders are like, I'm going to stick to my original vision. I'm not going to do anything different. It's kind of like what happens with startups and product market fit. You build your product because you think it's going
Yeah.
to hit a particular audience, and then you put it out there, and then your audience goes, ho hum, not interested. But this one feature that you're doing is really, really interesting. Why
Yeah.
don't you do more of that? So they go back and pivot, and they
Right.
redo and relaunch to the audience. So it's
Yeah.
kind of a little bit like what you're doing. It's the same for any business. You have your vision, you throw your vision out there, and then people will comment on your vision, and you get this responses, and you work it back in. So have you thought about any of that?
I mean, I don't know how to correlate the two because,
Right.
I'm writing about a reset and I'm writing about, going through all of these steps that I'm going through in this process. And to, I guess, to kind of pivot over to authenticity, I mean, there is some relation. I think maybe authenticity to yourself, authenticity to what you're doing, maybe from that perspective, authenticity on Substack, which really, I mean, it blew up faster than I ever thought it would. I don't know if that's like a one-off. And again, I think how I translate that authenticity type of behavior is just to continue to write about what I feel. And I can't write. I know that there are all of these things. You and I could do a whole other show on all of the growth things that are out there and the templates
Oh
and
yeah, we should probably do that.
yeah, right. And all of these
Take them
things.
down. Take them down.
Because you and I have been, I feel like we've been uncovering, for a lack of a better word, like just a lot of crap. And like people are really trying to game the system. People are
Mm.
trying, everything it's just for numbers and, likes. And it's more like vanity metrics. And so I feel that sometimes you'll read somebody will say, oh, well, you should post, 3 notes or 5 notes a day. And you should do 3 posts a week. This is the
Yeah.
secret sauce. And,
Yeah.
I don't necessarily, I don't subscribe to that because there are like times where I have a lot to say, but I don't feel it. And I feel like if I were to just go put it down on paper for the sake of doing that, then it doesn't have the same punch.
Yeah.
And I've been toying with the content that I wrote today because, I wanted to do a follow-up on that viral post and I have a couple of things sitting in draft and one of them was really your work is starting to sound like everybody else's work.
Mm.
The other piece that I'd like so maybe I'll make this like a 3-part series and see how that works. I
Yeah.
think the other part of this that I'm really heavily involved with in my thought process is the anxiety that it's giving, that it's,
Mm.
all of,
Yeah, that's huge. I
you
think
know,
that's super huge.
the content wheel. It's like, I mean, you came here, like you said, Substack is a place for us to kind of breathe and find our way. And as soon as you do that, it's like, you're being inundated with creators, content about growth and you need to do this and you need to do that. And all of a sudden you're like, oh my God, I didn't post this week or I didn't post. I've had that
Yeah, you
panic.
feel like you're behind.
Yeah, I've
Yeah.
had that genuine panic where I'm like, holy crap, like I did not post a note today. Like, but then again, I'm not going to auto generate a note just because I need
Yeah,
to.
just because you need to post something. No, you're right. I mean,
Yeah.
that's the way to be authentic. So we only have about 12 minutes left. So I wanted to talk a bit about your midlife reset. Why don't you tell us a
Okay.
little bit about that? How like you were talking about pillars and all that stuff. I want to hear about it.
Okay. So actually the idea came to me at 4 a.m. one morning and I
That's
literally,
the best time for ideas to come to people.
yeah,
Absolutely.
I remembered like my eyes were burning. I was like, oh my gosh, luckily I had a pen and a paper like next to my bed. And I just had this thought about like, 7 hour reset, right? The midlife reset, and you don't do it all at once. And you've got to go through phases. And so this thing just came to me. I believe in it so much that I just filed a trademark for the name 7 hour
Nice.
reset. Yeah.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Great.
I really do. I believe strongly in it. It's not fully developed, but it is, the reset, and it starts with, recognition, where you recognize a pivotal moment that you know that something's off and you've got to make a change. You may not really know like specifically what that change is, but you know that you can't stay the way that you're currently are. The other, so then you
This is the
move
part where you
from,
whack yourself
yeah,
because you could
either
tell.
you do or you get the whack,
Yeah.
and again, actually, it's not always the whack, because sometimes the whack happens after. Because in
Mm,
my case, I recognized that I needed to go. A year and a half before I did, and I didn't do anything about it. But again, I had nothing to guide me or to help me with the clarity. I was just confused, and like you said, I was making excuses. So I'm hoping that this series or this reset tool will help other people who are actually going through what I went through a few years ago, and it gives them like, a guide towards like clarity. And again, like, you recognize what it is that you feel. You don't necessarily know what you're going to do about it, but then you move to the next phase. You release. It's release, right? So you have to release all of these like thoughts. So like in my case, I had to release the thought that, okay, my job is, it's giving me comfort.
mm.
I'm this is I need this because I have to pay tuition, or I need that. You have to release those things, because once you release that, it gives you the freedom to think past that. And the next structure is to reframe. So like for me, and again, it's my story that I'm living through. I had to reframe that layoff, that it's the best thing that's ever happened to me,
Mm.
right? It's the best thing that could happen, because now it's going to allow me to like rebuild, which is like the next phase. And it goes out to 7, and the seventh phase is reset. And at that point, you've been through all of the steps and you're ready. You're ready. At least you may not reset, but you should have some level of clarity of like, if I knew this a year and a half ago, I would have started my I would have started my Substack a year and a
Mm.
half ago. I would have started writing. I would have been way further ahead than I am right now. But
Yeah.
I don't, um, I also believe, and this is very important to anybody who's out there, it's never too late to start.
Mm.
So when I found out
I
about
agree
the
with you 100%.
right,
100%.
it's never too late to start, and just do it. It's not going to be perfect. I had no idea how to write a newsletter. As a matter of fact, I was like, what is a newsletter? Like I'm being really like honest, right? I shouldn't say a
Yeah.
lot of these things, but it's the truth. I'm like, what is a Substack? What is a newsletter?
Yeah.
And I went on it, and I'm like, oh, it's like just an article, right? And I wrote my first one and I published it. And then I'm like, oh, like, all right, I'm going to keep doing this. And definitely, I mean, we see where I started at zero. Actually, I subscribed to myself.
You're always your first subscriber, I find.
So yeah, so I was my own subscriber, my first, and I remember being in the single digits, and I think when I got to 10, I was like, wow, I'm in the double digits, and
Yeah.
four
Just think of
months later,
10 people in your house, right? I mean, it's
yeah,
like a dinner party. And
actually, I don't have my family subscribe to it, because I just feel like,
now my
uh,
family doesn't read my stuff either, believe it or
yeah,
not. I think that's
I
pretty
don't want
common,
them.
actually. I don't know why. And the other corollary to that is that you also need to get it out there before you're ready. Like
Mhm.
if you've spent too much time polishing this and making it look really good, then
Yeah,
it's already too late. If your stuff doesn't embarrass you just a little bit when it goes
yeah.
out there, then you've probably waited too long to get it out there.
Did you say that to me earlier, or did somebody else say that? Because I
I
think
don't
I
know.
remember.
I've said
Yeah,
that many times to many people, people who are afraid. I mean, there's so many people who are afraid of putting their work out into the world,
yeah,
that they just hold it to themselves and they keep it private. And it's like, this is amazing work, and they don't
yeah.
even know how good it is until they put it out there. But they have to keep tweaking it, tweaking and tweaking it. I mean, I could tell you a whole story about a time I was working at a startup, and it was just that's a long story, so I won't go into it. But in the end, the reason we failed was because we didn't launch when it wasn't perfect.
Right.
Right?
Yeah.
When you launch when it's not perfect, that's when you get feedback. That's when you can pivot. That's when you can
Mhm.
change.
Yeah.
And you should never wait until that point. It's like,
Yeah.
get it out there, even if it's messy. get feedback and then go. The first time I ever did a podcast, oh my God, it was terrible. I can go back and watch it now or listen to it now, and I'm like, I can't believe I actually went and did that. But I think the key the
I
key
know.
thing is that you have to produce as if no one is watching. And if you
Yeah.
produce it, if you think to yourself, no one's listening to this, nobody's watching this, then can be free to embarrass yourself as much as you want.
Yeah, I mean, I think like that's the great thing about this whole process. I definitely feel like, within 4 months, the person that I was back then I'm not that person anymore. And even if, I'm okay, like even if I'm doing something and, I don't like the outcome, I'm like, at least I did it,
Yeah,
like, and that's me now.
yeah. That's how you have to think about it, and it's good. It's good that you're starting to think that way because that's the best way to do it. Especially if you're an entrepreneur, you're going to try things, you're going to put them out there. They may work, they may not work, but as long as you take the feedback and you continuously improve, 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 eventually you'll be in a perfect situation.
Yeah, well, I hope so. But yeah, I mean, it's, and I think that that's part of growth, right?
Mm.
Yeah. I teach my daughter that, so I should practice what I preach.
So this has been fantastic. We always have a great discussion, right, Nat? I
Yeah,
mean,
we always do. I mean, like I love, I could like talk to you all day.
yeah, let's do it. We'll do more of these because this is
Yeah.
this is fun. I didn't realize how easy this was to do,
Yeah.
but
So let's
it's
talk a little bit
fantastic.
about you for the next 4 minutes. So
Oh no 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 no! Don't talk about me. Talk about you.
how'd you like your first Substack Live?
Oh, this was great. It actually wasn't as difficult as I thought it was going to be. I was thinking that maybe I would have to spend a lot of time responding to people and stuff like that. But there are comments coming in, by the way, and they're great. I love everything that's coming in, and hopefully I'll get more next time I do this thing. But yeah, no, this is great. I love it.
Does anyone
Um,
have questions? Because that's where
I,
I
I
got
don't see any
dinged.
questions. I see a lot of commentary.
Okay.
But struggle with perfecting my writing. What a great discussion. Never too late to start 100%. Let's see a few other things. So yeah, it was great.
Awesome. See, I'm glad. Like, I'm so happy. Like, I feel like, I kept saying, like, you should do this because I think, like, I don't know, like, you guys do these really complicated things with the podcast. And I mean,
Oh,
it's great. You have these fancy websites and everything. I think, like, this one's super easy because I'm doing this from my phone right now. And it's like, it's great. It's like I literally just log into the app and boom, like
I'm definitely going to do more of these. I'll probably see if I can get Aisha to do hers through this
yeah,
as well because I really like this. I really like this format. It's nice and I like the fact that there's feedback happening at the same time. It's almost like it's like a radio call-in show almost,
yeah,
right? Because the regular podcast you record it ahead of time and then you
yeah,
upload it. But this is more like a radio call-in show, so you can have guests come in. You have a guest on, you're talking, and then people
yeah,
put questions up and stuff like that. So I really now I'm a big fan of doing this kind of thing. So I'll probably do more of these in addition to the regular
yeah,
podcast. So
yeah,
basically, you've just made it so that now I have to do more work. But that's fine
yeah.
because I love it.
There you go. Are you sure? See, this is what
No,
happens
I
when you
totally
listen
love
to
it. I
me.
totally love it. So,
Um,
okay, so let's talk about how to get in touch with you. So this has been great, as always. And if someone wants to get in touch with you, what's the best way?
Midlife Reset on Substack.
So just search for that, and you come up,
Yeah, Nat Sang.
lights
Yeah,
flashing, and all that stuff. Well, your name is so easy to remember. I think of it.
yeah.
I went through a couple of changes once. So once I interviewed somebody who went by the name Mordecai. That was her name. She just called herself Mordecai. And I thought to myself, oh, I should do something like that. I should do something simpler than my long name, right? And I tried a bunch of things. I tried going out as CK. I tried going out
Okay.
as Kala or something like that. I tried all these different things. And in the end, I thought, this is really stupid. This is not me.
Yeah. Well, yeah, Nat Sang is not difficult, but believe me, people still ask me, how do you spell Nat? I'm like, oh my gosh. Like
GNAT? No, 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 that's not right.
GNAT, yeah, like, the bug.
No,
Yeah.
it's funny. My name, everybody mispronounces it, but it's pronounced exactly the way it's spelled. And it's like all you
Kalaboukis.
have to do is all you have to do is pronounce it exactly the way it's spelled. And I've had Kalabuski. The funniest one was I had Lalabonkis. That's a good
My
one.
gosh.
It's like Mr. Lalabonkis. I'm like, no. Look,
Hello?
read, read.
Yeah.
There's no L's at the front.
It's phonetically good. Like you just sound it
Exactly.
out.
I mean, it
Yeah.
might be, 10 letters or 25 syllables or however long it is, but it's actually pretty.
Like snuffleupagus.
Snuffleupagus. I can always pronounce that, right? Or anti-disestablishmentarianism, which is apparently the longest word in the dictionary. Anyway, so midlife reset is where
Yeah.
you're going,
hmm
and for Nat, and this is Nomads 50 plus, all spelt out. And
Thanks for having me.
well, thanks for coming on. And we have to do this again because it was like super fun, and we need to
Yeah.
dig more into your pillars. So, are you
Yeah.
personally you personally have not gone all the way through? You're on pillar 1 or 2 right now.
I'm like on pillar 2. I'm like in release.
You're in the release mode. So, I'd
Yes,
love
I'm
to be able to go
releasing.
deeper into. Are you going to be doing like videos, like educational videos on the whole series?
I'm just like debating on what I should be doing with it. So more to come on that. It's just, I'm writing out the stuff right now. Gathering my stories, my experience, and I'm trying to just correlate it to that and putting that in a format where, okay, how can I get someone to go through this exact process that I just went through? So just it's a little bit of a work in progress right now.
I love it. I love it.
But
That's
thank
always
you.
fun.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you so much. This has been great.
Thanks, Chris. Have a good
I'll talk
night.
to you soon.
Survivor time. All right.
Yeah.
Bye.
Enjoy. Bye.
Take care. Bye.
Oh,